Wise Guys Wednesday.
Oh, we are in for a doozy of a Wise Guys Wednesday. Nadia Mason and Melanie Lott are with us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
What have you brought today?
Oh, I have brought the best ever. I brought a special guest today. Special guest. Melanie Lott is from Denison University, and she studies how physics gives us information about how our bodies move. So how do we maintain our balance? How do people throw baseballs? And this is Melanie's field of study.
We should ask the Cubs that question, shouldn't we?
I think she says how it works, but not and how to do it better, right? So go ahead, Melanie.
Hi, Melanie. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
What are we learning about today?
Sure. So one of my main areas of research, I study how dancers maintain balance while they're rotating in something called a pirouette.
That's a very good question.
I'm not going to ask anybody to do pirouettes today, so it's not just dancers that are trying to maintain balance. We're maintaining our balance every day without even really thinking about it. Right?
Oh, yeah. This is good to know. Yeah,
yeah, and actually,
coordination.
you guys are balancing experts, whether you know it or not. It's not just dancers.
Sure.
It's a fairly complicated process, how you're sensing and correcting for balance all the time. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the physics behind balance. So really it's this idea that you're something called your center of mass. You keep over your base of support all the time to stay balanced. And so your center of mass is sort of the place where on average all your mass is concentrated. So for us it's kind of right here in our midsection. But it also explains why this bird is able to balance right on its beak on that stand or on my finger.
Oh, wow.
Because the center of mass of the bird is right in line with where the beak is. So the bird's pretty neat too, because you can give the bird a little bump and it still stays on balance. So this is a stable balance that the bird has here. Us on the other hand, if I give you a little bump.
Right now?
No, I won't do it right now.
Oh, okay.
No, but if I gave you a bump, so when a human is standing, we're in an unstable balance because our center of mass is over top of the base of support. So we're kind of like this this clay ball on a stick.
On a yard.
So you can kind of think of the center of mass as being the clay.
Got it.
And so you can try and balance the stick on say a finger. And the question too is, well, maybe is a person where their center of mass is higher up in their body, are they more stable than a person, or less stable than a person where the center of mass is lower in their body? So I'm going to ask Nadia if she might demonstrate this for us.
I feel like I'm focusing
so
really
she
hard
can
on balance.
try and balance this on your hand or your finger with the clay ball down, and then we'll try it again with it on the top. oh, watch out!
Well, it's hard.
I mean,
I can get it. But it's hard. It's hard.
I don't think I could do it.
So let's see if you can. Is it any easier if you put the clay mass
higher up? It seems counterintuitive because most of the think as we go lower center of mass helps us balance more. But
that seems easier.
But this one is easier. I still follow it around.
You're pretty good.
But it's definitely easier.
That's interesting.
When it's on top.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't think that.
You wouldn't think that.
It really is counterintuitive, right? You think it's lower that you would be more balanced, but
pretty good.
It has to do with this physics principle called rotational inertia. So it just means it's harder to rotate something when the mass is further away from the point of rotation, and that's why it's easier to balance this mass with the clay ball further away from your point of rotation.
What are these weights here for?
The weights are for, so we're going to demonstrate this idea of rotational inertia again, and because dancers have these tricks, dancers have these tricks up their sleeves for how they can sort of get more rotations in a pirouette before they fall over. But it's not really a trick; it's physics. So we're going to ask Alex to get on a stool over here, and you can demonstrate this.
These ones or these ones?
Let's use the big ones.
The big ones. Okay, great.
You're feeling brave today. So so you may have seen ice skaters do something. An ice skater effect where they bring their arms in when they're spinning. So we'll see if you can. So maybe try and give yourself a boost with your arms out first. So if you can kind of push off.
I'm already spinning.
I can give you a. So with your arms
out, like this. Okay.
So we'll sort of start spinning, and then you can bring them in.
Oh my gosh,
and put them back out.
Oh.
So she slows down, and when you bring them in.
Oh, that's so interesting.
You spin more rapidly.
This is going to be, I'm not going to lie.
It's going to end up on YouTube.
Yeah, this really is. Oh, that's really cool. I'm a little dizzy. I'm not going to lie.
So I'll stop you. There we go.
Guys, just a second here for, okay, great. So, that was really interesting because when figure skaters are doing that, I don't think about that. Like when they're actually doing it, how much they're slowing down.
Right, and so this comes back to this idea of, rotational inertia, when you have the weights further away from your your axis of rotation, it's harder to rotate. And then when you bring them in, you have a lower rotational inertia. And there's this idea, a quantity called rotational momentum when someone's spinning.
Yeah.
And that total quantity stays the same when you're just spinning on the stool or ice, like a ice skater.
Yeah.
And so if you reduce the rotational inertia, your rotational speed goes up to keep this rotational momentum the same.
I'm still a little dizzy. I'm not.
You got to turn the other way.
I didn't plan on getting up.
The more you know. Wow.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then what's the last
thing we have, just really quick.
By all means.
So I brought the top because there's this, you might wonder if a dancer spins fast enough, maybe they don't have to do anything to try and actively maintain balance while they're spinning. Maybe they have like a top. Maybe if they spin fast enough. So the top is just spinning, and if you get it fast enough, it does this thing called sleeping, where it just spins and
I know
falls asleep, right? So the top can stay upright for a long time when it's spinning, but if you stop, it falls over pretty quick.
Yeah.
As it turns out, a dancer would have to spin really, really rapidly, more than 50 revolutions per second, in order to actually act like
Aaron,
a
you
top.
want to demonstrate?
I don't know what the world record for it is, but I'm pretty sure it's not that many.
So we can do Aaron on the stool.
Great. We'll let him try it.
Look at the time. Seems like it's time for a break.
Melanie, Nadia, thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Thank you for making me spin on the stool. Hope you guys liked that as much as I did. We'll be right back with more of the morning show. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.